Welcome to the Mike Litton Experience Podcast. Mike has over 31 years experience in real estate, finance, and investing. He's passionate about being a father, a teacher, a realtor, an investor, and a leader. Everyone has a story, and our passion is to help them tell it. And now, introducing the host of the Mike Litton Experience, Mike Litton.
So what can you expect from the Mike Litton Experience? You can expect stories that will inspire, motivate, advice that will sharpen your focus, and expert information on real estate, finance, and market conditions. Luke Jensen, thanks for being here, buddy.
Oh, Mike, thank you
Great
so
to
much for
meet
having
you.
me. Yeah, so good to meet you too.
So for the record, welcome to the Mike Litton Experience. For the record, Ryan Lipsey put us together.
Yes.
Ryan is a good buddy. I've worked with him for a number of years, and I even know his parents, right?
Oh,
so
okay.
we have a long history. But we interviewed him the other day. He and Haley, his business partner, and he's like, you know who you need to talk to? You need to talk to Luke Jensen.
Oh,
right?
beautiful.
I'm like, really? He goes, yeah. I'm like, dude, right? So
Yeah.
thanks for being here, man.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
I'm excited to meet you. I'm excited to hear what you're doing. So, as you know from our previous conversation, the Mike Litton Experience is about everyone's story, right? Everybody has a story, and our passion is to help them tell it. So, if you're okay with this, what I'd like to do is I'd like to start with where you were born, and then let's go all the way up to today, and then we can talk about the Fatherpreneur, your podcast, and kind of how all that evolved and how it came to today. Okay.
Beautiful, Mike. I'd love to. Yeah.
Okay. So, where were you born?
So born and raised here, man, Chula Vista.
Is
So
that right?
yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh.
It feels like San Diego, well known for transplants. People coming here, but. Again, if you're born here, like myself, I'm smart enough to be like, man, this is paradise. I'm not going anywhere else, man. So we did move around a little bit. So I moved around again when I got into my early 20s. Moved to Oregon for a little bit. I played professional basketball in Mexico.
Okay.
So I lived in Mexico for a little bit. But born and raised here.
Okay.
We love it here. We live in Coronado now. So
What was your favorite thing about growing up in Chula Vista?
the people.
Yeah.
The people, man. Just the connections. I think like growing up, my parents really stressed relationships, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm huge on sports. But they really stressed relationships, and then just the diversity of everybody, right? Growing up in Chula Vista, it's a diverse background, and just I love different cultures, and you get that walking down the street, dude.
Yeah, it's a melting pot, dude.
Yeah.
It really is.
So I think that, and besides the weather and all that good stuff, I met my girlfriend and then wife. We've been together since we were 14 years old.
Oh my gosh.
So this definitely holds a special place in my heart.
Absolutely. That's cool, man.
Yeah, man.
Wow, that's awesome. So growing up in Chula Vista, you enjoyed the diversity, you enjoyed the different cultures, that kind of thing. Where'd you go to high school?
Bonita Vista High School.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
And you played
basketball, man. Basketball. I became obsessed with basketball because of my basketball coach. But I grew up playing like baseball and basketball, and my parents tried to get me into volleyball. It was horrible. My brother and my sister great at volleyball.
Yeah.
I was not.
Yeah.
Right? And I just couldn't get my mind around doing anything else but basketball.
Okay.
So that's what I did.
All right.
Yeah.
So you're a basketball nut.
I'm a nut, man.
I love that. My my son is too. So
Yeah, there you go.
that's cool, man. So growing up playing basketball and baseball, right?
Yeah.
Did you ever play football?
Never played football. Never.
Did it interest you?
At the park, I loved it.
Yeah.
But it was, so when I got to a certain point of, like I played like flag football and stuff like that, but once we got a little bit older and there was like tackle football, I just like, basketball just became year round for me. And I was like, okay, this is what I love. Nothing else matters.
Yeah, same thing happened with my son.
Yeah.
So we did the club thing, we did the AAU thing, we did all that. Yeah. So that's cool. So in high school, other than basketball and baseball, obviously, what were your favorite things to do?
Hanging out with friends, right? I love my friends. So growing up, I grew up, I still have a learning disability, but it's dyslexia. So I became very like isolated, and then I had very few friends growing up, just like people I trusted, right? And then so I kept those same friends from like elementary school all the way into high school. We became very tight. We stayed very tight. we're friends until now.
Yeah.
And so I really trust them. So spending time with them, doing the normal kid stuff, man, going out, having a good time, partying, whatever. You know, but basketball, and then working out for basketball, spending time with my wife Victoria, which was my girlfriend at the time, going to the movies. That's where we first met. We met at a movie theater down in Chula Vista.
Okay.
Well, we had our first date. We met in high school, but we had our first date there.
Very good.
So just all of that stuff, man. Just being a kid, enjoying my friendships, and then I mean, yeah, just it's living a good, simple life. That's kind of how we.
So you play basketball through all of high school.
Yeah.
It's your passion.
Yeah.
And then after high school, what happened?
Yeah. So after high school, I had horrible grades in high school because of dyslexia. Not because of it, because I ran away from it. I didn't want to go to class and never be called on to, hey, dude, you got to read. Like, nah, I'm not doing that to myself, right? So I was like always stressed out in school outside of, playing sports. And so I would ditch all the time, man. I would ditch all the time, so I got horrible grades. I was excelling in the sport and then not excelling in the classroom, so those things always clash, right? Yeah, you got to do both to get to the next level. So I played junior college. I played junior college 1 year at Cuyamaca Junior College, and then I moved to Arizona to play another junior college. Broke my ankle, my hand in the same day. I was like, I'm not going to school. Healed up, and I was lucky enough to be able to play professional basketball in Mexico. So I started at a young age.
Okay.
Yeah,
So how old were you when you started playing basketball in Mexico?
21.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
That
pretty
was
young.
young age,
Yeah. So 21 until I was 25. So I stopped at a young age too. But yeah, it was amazing.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
it's so much fun.
That's
so
cool.
much fun. Yeah. A lot of challenging times in terms of like learning a lot, like living in a different country and then doing so much on my own, so to speak, like my own growth that way. It wasn't like a path that I had designed for myself.
Right.
It was just one of those things that were just happening because I allowed it to happen, first of all. Like I had a design path. Hey man, go to school, go to junior college, do what you need to do there, make sure you go into class, pass your, and then go to the 4-year, but no, it didn't work out that way. So I had a unique path, doing things a little bit differently, but I learned so much about myself and about what I wanted to do with the rest of my life, kind of. So it was great.
So if you had it to do over again, would you do it differently?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes, in terms of I wouldn't run away from the things that I feared.
Right.
Right. I would have I think, more of a stronger, powerful dialogue with myself about, dude, you can do this, right? You got this. Just face your fear, like step up. So a lot of stuff that I coach, fathers now and then also with my kids, it's like that is so important to have like that championship level dialogue within yourself, because it's exactly what builds your own story in your mind about what you're capable of achieving, which human history, it's anything that you want, really, right?
With the right mindset.
Yeah, you can accomplish so much. So I think that anything else, who knows? I mean,
Well, you learned a lot taking the path that you took, right?
Yeah.
But I always think it's important to talk about what you learned looking back, right? When you look back, what did you learn from all this? What would you? Is there anything you'd do differently? Is there anything you'd suggest that somebody who has dyslexia, I have it, and I had the same sort of issues. I had the same challenges in class because they would call on me to read and I couldn't read as fast as everybody else. I have ADD. I'm absolutely convinced of it, right? And everybody that knows me is convinced of it too. But I have ADD, and then I'll sit and read a page in a book, and I'll get to the end of it, and I'll have to go back and read it again because my mind is somewhere else. I'm going through the motions, but I'm not paying attention to what I'm reading, right? And oftentimes I'll have to stop, like, I get numbers swapped, I get letters swapped, I get words swapped sometimes, and I don't remember them correctly, right? So then I have to go back and do it again. So everything I did in school and in high school and college and all that, it always took me longer than everybody else. But my parents basically told me, look, it doesn't matter how long it takes you. You just need to get it done. You need to just go do it. And whatever it is you need to do, it doesn't matter what it takes, just go do it, right? I mean, it's part of, growing up and learning, right? So you play basketball until you're 25 in Mexico. And then what?
Fitness just became the next best thing, right? Like the natural progression, I thought, of wanting to stay in athletics.
Mm-hmm.
You know, is so I would go and I would play Mexico, stay out there, you know, anywhere from 5 to 6 to 7 months, and then come back and like, what do you do with your life when you're back here?
Right.
It's like I wanted to help people become healthier, right?
Okay.
Get stronger. So fitness trainer since I was 23, going on like doing 2 decades. I still do a lot of it as well. It became my life. So I started training people, anyone and everyone, and then I opened up a gym. And then it was just all about health and fitness and just really becoming the best version of yourself through that.
So do you have a gym now?
No, so we were in Oregon when we opened it up.
Okay.
Opened it up with my sister. We moved up to Oregon. This is one of the times I was talking about. We moved away.
Yeah.
And we're like, no, Oregon's not for us.
Yeah.
Not going to do it. So we moved back, and then we were like, where do we want to live when we move back, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll start working there. So Coronado. We moved back to Coronado, California.
So why Coronado?
We grew up, Victoria and I, always loving going there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So as you were growing up in Chula Vista, Coronado's very close. But for those of you that don't know, Coronado's close to where Chula Vista is. So,
Exactly. Yeah.
So they're right next to each other.
It was a good getaway too. You're like, you know, it just seemed like, wow, living here would be amazing, right? And it is. So I got a job at Cornell Fitness Club, worked there for about 5 years. The staff there, everyone there, amazing people. I learned so much. And then the community is great too. I love the community. I was working from 4:30 in the morning to 10 p.m. I was blessed enough to be able to work that long and have people who wanted me to train them. Right, so
That's cool.
It worked out well, you know.
So you move to Coronado, you go to work at Coronado Fitness.
Yeah.
And what happens after that?
So now, again, the natural progression. I was like, I need something more. Like, what can I do? Like, because
Why? Why do you need something more?
I think for myself, I was trading a lot of time for work, right? For money. I was trading a lot of my time for money, and I had 2 young kids. Working from 5 in the morning to 10 at night isn't like I wasn't showing up for them. You know, maybe once a day, like on some days. I would take half a day off, and I would be able to be with them. So essentially, my wife was like raising them on their own while I was like doing my thing, doing what I needed to do.
You're missing them growing up, yeah.
And I don't want this for my life, you know. I'm missing my wife. I love being around Victoria. So it's like, you know what if I started my own business, or what if I went to school, so to speak, all these certification courses and stuff like that. I've always loved Tony Robbins. A huge hero of mine. I actually got to work for him for a couple of years during the pandemic.
Awesome.
And I was like, you know what? I want to do what he's doing. Don't know what that is, but I know that there's something besides just the fitness, and I love the motivation and the mindset. And I learned so much when I was training people, just listening to their stories, all of their, you know, all their joys and what they're doing with their life, but also some of the problems and how they're trying to solve them when it comes to business, when it comes to their personal lives, and how they're making all of this work, right?
Yeah.
I was like, cool. I want to get more into that.
Right.
And I want to treat this like a sport, because it is, right? In my mindset. So I got a couple different certifications, leadership coaching, life coaching certifications. And I was like, I'm going to move into this, right? So that's what I moved into next is I created this thing called the heroic method.
Okay.
And there's these 4 systems that I coach people on.
Okay.
But yeah, it was the next thing that I knew for myself. It made sense. It was very scary because I was leaving something that I worked so hard to grow. And then it's like, I don't have to do this again. Right?
Start over again.
Yeah, and it's just like, but it makes sense. I don't know
So,
how, but it does.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What did you do for Tony?
I was one of his coaches. So
Okay, cool.
Peak Performance Strategist, I think my title was.
Okay.
Which is amazing, right?
Yeah.
So you go to one of Tony Robbins events, whatever one, like Unleash Your Power Within, Date with Destiny, Business Mastery. You go there and you're like, this is incredible because you learn so much, right? You get into a peak state. He's really big on that. You learn best when you're moving, just like in sports, right? You learn so much about everything because your sensory, like your awareness, you're just completely immersed in the moment. So people go there they fall in love with the process, or they're like, dude, I want more of this. Then they sign up for coaching. I was one of the people who coached, the people who wanted more of it.
Cool.
So yeah, it was great. Coach. At one point, I had like 120 clients, and there was like people from all around the world I was coaching. So again, understanding different patterns, different mindsets, different cultures, all the stuff that I loved. I was like, this is great, man. This is incredible. So it was a great time. It was a great learning experience because you learned so much because you had so much to work with and to work for. Yeah, it's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I was certified by Tony Robbins in Sales Mastery.
Okay. Yeah.
32 years ago.
Yeah.
33 years ago.
Wow.
33 years ago. Yeah. So that was quite an experience. It really was. So you get certified. You start coaching, right? So you leave Tony Robbins and you start your own business coaching, right? And that was how long ago?
So I've been doing 2016 is when I started coaching. So I was coaching, I got my certifications all.
We hope you enjoyed another episode of the Mike Litton Experience. If you did, do us a favor, smash that subscribe button, tell your friends, family, and coworkers about our program, and wherever you get your podcasts, please leave us a rating. It helps us to connect with quality people just like you.
And that's a wrap. Another episode of the Mike Litton Experience in the books. Reach out to Mike on Instagram at Litton Realty. Want to meet with Mike? Check out Calendly.com/Rio760.